Want to get unstuck, get off your butt and move forward quickly as you can toward those goals and dreams and wishes that you have for yourself? I have just the exercise for you today, all about your beautiful butts. I'm Erin Acton. I love helping leaders and entrepreneurs to get off the hamster wheel so they can be even stronger leaders, the leaders they know they can be, and so they can make even more money and be more successful in their businesses. What prompted this exercise is a conversation where I did a strategy session for a businesswoman recently, and she said, "Oh, I wish I could go to LA, but," and then she just let her voice trail off. Well, I'm sure we can all relate to having those moments or saying those things. I could think of a few for myself right now where we think, "Oh, wouldn't it be nice if I could do this?" Or, "Oh, I wish I could." "Oh, I need to," or "I should." Those sorts of things. You hear yourself saying things like that to yourself. This is going to be a really great exercise for you, and it's going to help you identify where you're getting stuck. Bring forward some specific things that you can do and see exactly where you're holding yourself back there, and can bring forward and identify for you some limiting beliefs. Those are a little bit trickier to identify on your own in yourself, because sometimes you just don't know if you are the reason holding yourself back. A bit more helpful to do that with a coach, and you'll be able to do this exercise no problem. Get some really great movement by doing this on your own for yourself. This exercise as well, before we dive in, is fantastic, whether it's a personal goal, whether it's something you want to roll out within your workplace as a current leader or emerging leader in the workplace, or something that you want to work on for your business. It'll help you in any regard there. And what you want to listen for when you're doing, and what this exercise is for, is filling in the gap. So when you say something like, "Oh, it would be so amazing if I could," and then you hear your voice kind of trail off, or you say, "Oh, but this or that," that space, we're going to fill up that space, find out the gold that's lurking within that space, and really flesh it out for you here. So let's dive in. Step one is to draw yourself. You can see a little bit of the examples I'll show you in a second. Draw yourself a nice big heart. Leave a bit of room outside and underneath, because you're going to need that space for those butts that come up. That space where your voice trails off. And I don't know if you noticed, but if you turn this upside down, you're going to get... Yeah, you're going to get a butt. And that's what I love about this, because you're going to know it's a butt that you've got written or drawn up on your page, but everyone else is going to think it's a heart. So you can post your goals and everything that you're doing around you and not feel silly having a big bum on your page. Or perhaps you do like to have a bum on your page and displayed for everyone to see. It'll be your and my little secret. And your little giggle and chuckle when you go to look at it. All right, now that you've got your heart drawn on the page, that's step one. You want to write down next, what do you want to achieve? What is it that you wish you could do or have or be? We'll start with an example. This comes up quite a bit in the conversations that I have with people, and that's either they want to go for a walk more regularly, or they want to get more exercise regularly. So we'll go with that. Exercise. You want to make it as specific as you can for you. And in this case, I'm just writing 4 times down. That tends to be a number that comes up 3-4 times a week, are the goals that people usually want to set for themselves. "Oh, I wish I could exercise 4 times a week, but..." Now here are where you write in all of those buts that come up for yourself. Something that comes up for most people that I talk to is a big one. It's time. Just don't have the time to exercise. Another one that can come up if doing things like going to a personal trainer, to yoga classes, or any sort of physical boot camp activity programs that's organized and put on by someone else. Sometimes money can come up as an obstacle, but I don't have the $700 a year, etc., for the membership fees. Or the other one that can often come up is that you don't like doing it by yourself. And one final one that can often come up is that you don't stick with it. Go until you've exhausted all the buts that you have for yourself. You certainly don't need 4. In fact, most people I speak to usually have one big one, and that's the one that's just kept them from moving forward throughout the whole time, or a couple of bigger ones. I'm doing 4 so you get a really great idea of how this can work for you. Then just start with one that resonates or either bugs you the most that you don't have, or the one that you think might be the biggest challenge, or you might want to start with the one that might be the easiest challenge for you. Just picking one randomly here, I think I'll just pick don't like doing it by myself. That one you could, what you do here, you just start brainstorming all of the things that you can do to counter that but that's popped in here for you. So things like getting a buddy that you could work out with, or finding a class. If you find you don't stick with it, research has shown that when you actually do have a buddy, you're more likely to follow through on your goals. So that could be a way that you can counter with that. Or you could build in some accountability. Just not a buddy that might go with you all the time, particularly if you actually prefer to exercise on your own, would be just finding an accountability partner that you can report to on a weekly basis. Time. Oh, that's a big one. This could end up being like getting up earlier. Another idea could be, I've seen some people talking about that, and actually getting up earlier so they can exercise and having someone that they can text the moment they wake up and get out the door. So that can work here really well as well for yourself. So that's adding a bit of extra time to the beginning of your day. Or what you could do is take some time out of your day to do that. That one might be the most challenging, and it might actually be where you have the most flexibility. A lot of people I work with tend to skip their breaks, tend to work at their desk for long periods of time, and don't, because they've got all of those emails, phone calls, the responsibilities that continue to come in. So the big challenge there is actually getting up and going out for the walk. It often will show up as, well, I don't have time for that, but the real reason is they're worried about going away, stepping away from the desk. What might come into my email inbox that I'd have to deal with while I'm away? So for that one, you might just need to take a little baby step, maybe 5 minutes or 10, whatever the case. Let's just put that up to 10, because sometimes if you get up from your desk for 5 minutes, it doesn't feel quite like you could do anything with that. But maybe it's just 10 minutes and doing the stairwell for that period of time, just to get an idea of what it feels like to get up and get away from that computer. That I've got to tell you, me personally, that was my biggest challenge when it came to adding in more exercise in my day. And money. Well, what are some ways that you could find either more money? One could be, perhaps if it's a yearly program, saving money, specifically saving up. Maybe it's cutting back on, let's see here, can I draw a coffee? There's our local, let's just call that a coffee mug or a coffee cup. Perhaps you could cut back on the coffee once a week, or maybe 5 times a week if you happen to go out. Or you could cut back on the TV, because that can certainly help you walk away and get up from the couch at the end of a long day. And actually exercise will help give you more energy than less. Okay, that to give you some ideas of what you might be able to do. Obviously for you, you are going to have different butts come up. You're going to have different ideas of how you can address those butts, and whatever you come up with is great. It doesn't have to be this exact thing. In fact, I would fully expect that it'll be totally different, and that is perfect. Whatever works best for you is what you need to write down in this space. So we've gone through, we've drawn our heart. That's step 1. We wrote down what we wanted to do. Step 2, wrote out our butts. Step 3, brainstormed. Step 4. Now the 5th step, and perhaps the most important step, aside from starting this exercise in the first place, is to take action. Pick one thing that you could do on this list. Keep it nice and simple, just one thing that you can take action on immediately or within the next 24 hours to make progress on this goal for yourself. One that just stands out to me would be getting a buddy. You can identify that either by circling it or drawing it, and then you can write down the action step that you will do at the bottom of the page. So for your buddy, it would be phoning or texting or Facebook messaging someone that you think would be a really great workout partner, someone you would love to work out with. So be as specific as you can. We'll say, let's say FB message. You can fill in the person's name, friend. Facebook message a friend to do lunchtime walks. You make it as specific as you possibly can. It'll be a good idea to write down a time frame, whether that's right now or maybe on your next lunch break. So at noon. And there you go. You've started to take action on a goal that you set for yourself. It went from being maybe a someday maybe kind of an idea to something that you are quickly taking action on. You can see that I think this took about 5 minutes, and I was even giving instructions as I walked you through this. So you could do this really nice and quickly for you. And of course, you could do it on a nice little piece of paper, my little notes there. You could do it on a, an 8.5 by 11, whatever works for you. If you have this big, beautiful paper, it's fun. Nice, colorful felts are fun as well. And now here are the other examples that I mentioned for you. Just covered up the middle there so we can focus on it. This is going to be a good example for those who are in business, and I hear this a lot. Oh, I wish I had a better elevator pitch, one that actually resonated with the people that I most want to attract to my business. Well, I wish I had it, but I stammer when I give my pitch. I never know what to say. I forget my words and then I end up winging it, and I really just don't like the way it comes out of my mouth when I wing it. And I'm so darn nervous when I do it. I stammer, I forget my words. All of those things are very frequent and common that I hear about. So when you brainstorm moving forward, well, if you stammer, maybe it's time to practice and practice lots and practice in front of the mirror or in front of a video camera so that it just becomes really natural and just flows for you. Something else you could do too are mouth exercises, techniques that artists and people who perform on the stage and sing do to keep from tripping up. It can be actually really helpful and useful. If you don't know what to say, well, maybe you first need to start by writing down some ideas. Coaching can also be really helpful and useful for that, or building in an accountability buddy. There's a theme here where someone else who wants to build an elevator pitch, you could work on your own together, maybe brainstorm some ideas together, practice together. They can go really nicely. If you forget your words, again, practicing so that you don't need to work to actively remember. The words just come out, even when you're nervous. Or if you are feeling nervous, I have a great 3, 2, 1 countdown to get you present and patient, to stop that stress response that happens when you feel nervous. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you already have that. If you want to find it more quickly, just email me. I'll send that off to you. And if you don't have it yet, you can quickly sign up on my website and get that 3, 2, 1 countdown. It is fantastic for getting in the here and now and stopping that nervousness. Then, of course, take action. So one quick thing you could do if your main issue is stammering, Google some mouth exercises. So just do that, Google mouth exercises. Today, you can even write in a specific time to make it more real for you, or even do it right now, whatever ends up working. And there you go, you've gone from, oh, I wish I could have an awesome elevator pitch, to taking quick action on that. And the last example, for those who want to really develop their leadership skills and have their eyes set on becoming part of the C-suite. So you really want to be in the C-suite, you want to be an executive, but I don't have the experience yet. I'm not confident enough to speak up in board meetings. I've got good ideas, and when the time comes up, I lose my nerve and I don't speak up as often as I'd like in board meetings. That can come up. Or I don't have the education. Earlier today I talked about some limiting beliefs, and each of these can actually frequently be a limiting belief. We hold ourselves back or think, well, when I get that MBA, then I can apply for those executive positions. And in fact, that may not be the case at all. Same with the amount of experience as well. And we can hold ourselves back saying, well, I don't have experience in this area. I'm not going to apply for that position because, well, I probably won't get the job anyway. They want someone with more experience. Again, can really hold us back. And that's where coaching can really come into play and really help support you there, identifying those limiting beliefs. And that here are the brainstorming that goes along with it. And this is the fun part for me. It might not be for you. If you like to do this with someone else, get a buddy or a coach. This is all fantastic stuff to do with them. So if you feel like you need more experience, what are some things you can do? You can get a mentor, take on extra projects at work. You could invest in your own training or take training programs that your organization provides in leadership areas that are going to make you really desirable as an executive. Another thing you can do is volunteer for a board. Get that leadership experience through a board position. For education, of course, you could go out and go to school. And if that is something that is really important for you, that could very well be a really viable option for you. Again, mentoring comes into play here. Yeah, some of the interviews I've read, and I believe there has been research, don't hold me to that, I believe there's been research though that says that having a mentor can be one of the most critical success elements for you when you are working on building your leadership and career path for yourself. Can cut down the education and the experience that you need because you've got someone who's telling you the really important things to focus on, someone in your corner to help support you, making introductions to people who make those key decisions. Really helpful and useful. Of course, education, you can also get that on-the-job training through boards. You could do the training in your corporation or invest in your own training. And of course, building confidence, having that mentor, getting coaching. Remarkable how much confidence you can build up just in one session. It's really great. And I think we've covered everything. And the final step, take action. So in this case, let's identify, ask for an introduction to a board member. Again, I would be more specific if this was me. I'd first want to know which board I want to talk to, so I'd know which board member. If I didn't know them, asking a specific person to be introduced to that board member. So there you have it. 5 steps to make those butts work for you instead of against you, get you off your butt, and get you moving closer toward those goals and dreams for yourself. If you found this helpful and useful, I invite you to share it. It'd be really helpful and useful for those who do find themselves saying, oh, I wish I could do this, but really helpful for them. And Of course, invite you to join up for my newsletter where I share information like this, training, ongoing, lots of great information through my newsletter at erinacton.com. And of course, you can find me on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Have a lot of fun in all of those places. And I look forward to seeing you soon. I'm Erin Acton, your authority on going from burnout to balance.